Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Chrissy. In today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to cut and sew this beautiful bustier blouse with asymmetric neckline. If this is something you're interested to learn, keep on watching and let's get started. And if you're yet to subscribe, kindly hit on subscribe button so you'll always be notified anytime I upload new videos. So let's dive into today's tutorial, guys. So fold your pattern into two, come down by your bust point, come down by your under bust and your waistline. My waistline is 15-inch, but for the sake of this tutorial, I marked 16-inch. That means I added extra 1 inch to my half length. So the length of my blouse, I'll make it 25-inch and I'll repeat the same 25-inch on this other side. Once I'm through with that, I'll place my ruler like so, then I'll make a straight line. All those points I marked out, I'm going to connect them in a straight line like so. After connecting, I'll go ahead and label. The first line was my bust point, second line under bust, the waistline, and the full length. From the bust point, I will go up by 2 inch. This will serve as my chest line. After marking, I'm going to connect a straight line. I'll label as CL. CL means the chest line. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement on the shoulder line. I'll repeat the same thing on the chest line. Then I'll connect the two dots to give me my armhole length. So the next thing I did was to come down by 1 inch and I'll mark 3 inch for my neck width. The 1 inch was for my shoulder slope. I'll connect from the shoulder slope to my neck width just this way. After that, I'm going to place my curve ruler like so and I'll connect my armhole curve. Once I'm done with that, next thing you want to do now is to mark half of your nipple to nipple. My nipple to nipple is 7 inch, half of it is 3.5. From the center front, I came in by 3.5 and I will connect a straight line from the chest line, connect to your full length of the blouse. Okay, once I'm done with this, next thing I want to do is to go in from the under bust by half an inch. If you're busty, you can mark 3/4 of an inch. I mark this from the underbust, the waistline and full length and I'll connect a straight line using my pencil. I'll be working with marker and pencil, okay? So on this other side, I'm going to go out by 1.5 inch on the underbust, the waistline and full length. If you're busty, you can mark 2 inch or 2.5 if you're very busty, okay? Connect a straight line like so. Then once I'm done with that, next thing I want to do is to connect my cup. I'll place my cover like so. Then I'll connect from the bust point to my under bust. Then I'll do the same thing on this other side. Connect from the bust point to your under bust just like this. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, the next thing I want to do now is to come here on the armhole line, or you can say the shoulder line. Just come down by 3.5 inch to 4 inch. So in my own case, I marked 3.5. So from that point, I'll connect from there to my bust point using my curved ruler. You can see I placed my curved ruler. So I'll just place like so and I'll connect to the bust point. So I'll clean up the extended line I have on the chest line. I'll connect like so. Remember, we are cutting a princess that bustier. So remember to, shape that bust point to avoid sharpness. You get, or to avoid pointy mouth or something like that. So from that point where you mark 3.5 inch, go in again by half inch, then connect from there to your bust point. After connecting to your bust point, please ensure you shape that point very well, like that cup, the mouth. Ensure you shape it very well to avoid sharpness. Now that I'm done with that, next thing I want to do is to extend the half inch I marked from the 3.5 inch. Okay, I marked 3.5 inch and I also went in by half an inch. So the half an inch, I'm going to just extend it to that point. Then I'll connect from that point to my armhole. Okay, you connect from there to your armhole. Just make another armhole curve. All right. So I'll use my marker to outline this line so it's very visible for everyone to see. Just this way. Okay. So the point I'm outlining with my marker will be the parts that I'll be cutting out. Okay. So now that I'm done with this, next thing I want to do now is to include my body measurement. So I'll mark quarter of my bust measurement on the chest line. I'll replace whatever that take I have there, whether is half an inch or 1 inch. Then I'll replace it and again I'll add my 1.5 inch for seam allowance on the chest line. Okay. So on the waistline, I'll mark quarter of my waist measurement. This is 2 inch that it take. I will replace it and I'll add extra 1.5 inch for seam allowance. On the full length of the blouse, I marked quarter of my hip measurement. I replaced the dart of 2 inch and also added my 1.5 inch seam allowance. Now that I'm done with that, I'm connecting from the chest line to the waistline, and I'll use my curve rule to connect from the waistline to the hip line, just this way, okay, to give me my hip curve. Do you get? So now that I'm done with this, next thing I want to do is from that side of the full length, I'm going to add extra 1 inch. This is just to enable us have the freeness we have there on the blouse. Do you get? On the side of the blouse, it was a bit free, okay, so I'll just include 1 inch or half an inch there, and I'll connect like so. I'll use my marker to outline very well. Sure you get? So now that I'm done with this, next thing I want to do now is to cut it out. I'll just cut like this for now. Once I'm done with that, next thing I want to do is to transfer whatever I have there to this other plain side. I've gone ahead to do that. So the next thing I want to do now is to label the right and the left side of my blouse, because that is where the asymmetric and all the curves be taking place. So if you know where you want your asymmetric neckline curve or your curves to take place, just label, either you label the right or label the side. Okay, you can see that's what I have on both sides. And for the left I labeled short and the right I labeled long. Do you get? So for this SX I have here, I measured it and it was 1.5. I'll just extend my line like so. I will cut it out. Okay, I'll cut it out later. So now that I'm done with this, next thing I want to do now is to get the asymmetric neckline. So this is the left side. You can see the left side hand. I'm going to get the asymmetric neckline of that part. Okay, so from the neck width I came in by 1 inch. This is on the left side, and to determine how high or low you want the asymmetric to be, I came down from the shoulder slope by 6 inch. Okay, 6 inch is very okay. And what I have from that 1 inch to the armhole line, it was 3 inch. So I marked it exactly on the 6 inch dot. So I'm going to connect from the 1 inch I came in by from the neck width. Do you get what I'm saying? I'll connect from the 1 inch to that point. Do you get? So now that I'm done with this side, next thing I want to do is from the right side, I went in by half inch from the neck width, and I'm going to connect. You can see how my curve went. So I'll connect from that point. I'll connect from the half an inch to the asymmetric length, just this way. It's very simple, like it's as simple as ABC. Do you get? So this is how the asymmetric neckline looks. Can you see? So now that I'm done with this, the next thing I want to do now is to get the curves for the hem part. So on the left side as well, from the waistline, I will go down by 2 inch, okay, on this that leg. So on this other side again, on the same point, coming to the end, I will go in by, I will go out, sorry, I will go out by 1 inch, then I will make a curve. Just watch what I'm doing here. I'm going to make a curve like so from that 1 inch to your 2 inch, okay, and from the waistline of this side I'm going to come down by 5 to 6 inch, but I ended up marking 5.5. You can also mark 2 inch. I will close up my dart like so, then I will connect a curve from that point, from this very point to the point I marked my 5.5 inch, just this way. So the left side will be the shorter part. You can see when I labeled it. Okay, so coming to the other side is very simple. Like coming to this side is very simple. From the waistline of the right side, I will come down by the same 5.5 inch. Okay, then I'm going to connect from that point to this point. Do you get? Now I'll make a small line there, okay, to guide me on, to guide me when connecting, sorry. So I'm going to connect from that 5.5 inch to this dart leg. Once I get there, I'll stop and I'll close the dart. After closing my dart, I'll continue from that very point to this line that I came out before. Okay, just like so. Just connect a slanted line. I'll use my marker to outline this line so it's very visible for you all to see. If you have watched to this point and you are enjoying the tutorial, kindly hit on the subscribe button. Subscribe, guys. So I'm going to outline the asymmetric neckline as well. Can you see what I have here? So the next thing I want to do is to fold my pattern from the bust point. I'm going to come down by 1.5 inch, and I'll connect my bust dart to the bust point just this way. I'll turn to the other side and I'll go down from the bust point by 1.5 inch, and I'll connect my bust dart from that point to my bust point just this way. Okay, now I'll open it up like so, then I'll go ahead and cut it out. Just watch what I'm doing here. Okay, just watch how I'll be cutting this out so you know exactly where and how to cut yours. Do you get? To also know the exact inch you'll be taking for your bust dart, what you will do is to minus the difference from your waist front half length to your back half length. You get? Let's assume your waist half length for the front is 15 inch, like my own is 15 inch, and my back half length is 13 and a half. So 15 inch minus 13 and a half, you will have 1.5 inch left. So I use the 1.5 inch for my bust dart. If yours was 2 inch left, you can use the 2 inch for your bust dart. Okay, so after cutting, I'll close up the dart for the front, and I'll also reconnect this side. You can see what I have there. I will do the same thing here and also trim out that part. Can you see? Just reconnect and cut it out. This is all for the front pattern. The next thing I want to do now is to cut the back pattern. Okay, so I'll just close up the dart so you see exactly what we have here on the hem part. And this is the full picture on the ground. I just placed it on the ground because my table was not enough. Okay, so I'm going to cut the back pattern. The back pattern, I've already drafted out my basic lines. I have my chest line, I have my waistline, and I have the full length of the blouse, which is 25 inch. I have half of my shoulder measurement, and I also have it here on the chest line. I marked 3 inch for my neck width, and I came down by 1 inch for shoulder slope, and also made my armhole curve. Okay, for the line from the center back, I came in by 3.5 inch, which is half of my nipple to nipple. After doing all of this, next thing I did was to come up from the full blouse length. I came up by 2 inch. Okay, and from the chest line, I came down by 1.5. On the waistline, I went in by half inch on both sides. This is for my normal dart intake. I'll connect from the 1.5 inch to the waistline in a slant manner like so. Can you see? Then I'll connect from the waistline to the full length blouse where I marked 2 inch. Okay, just this way. Next thing I want to do is to add my measurement. My bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1.5 inch for seam allowance. There was no dart on the chest line, so I didn't replace any dart. On the waistline, I marked quarter of the waist measurements, replaced the dart of 1 inch and also 1.5 inch for a seam allowance. On the hip line, I marked, or the full blouse of the length, I marked quarter of my hip measurement. There is no dart there, so I just impute my 1.5 inch seam allowance. Then I'll connect the shape like so. I'll also go out by 1 inch. Okay, on the full blouse length, I went out by 1 inch, just like I did on the front piece, and already explained the reason why I did so. I will connect like so as well. After doing that, I'll use my marker to outline this dart and also outline my shape so it's very visible for everyone to see. I will cut the remaining excess I have at the hem part, then also cut the side just this way. So after doing that, I replaced the same thing on the other side. Then I had to open my pattern like so. After opening my pattern paper, I will place the center front of my pattern. Okay, you will place it right side facing each other. All right, place it right side facing each other like so. And when placing, you can see the center line there. Ensure the both center line aligns very properly, then you pin it down. Okay, also pin down on this other side. You can see the line. Just ensure the both line, the center back line and center front line aligns very properly. That is what I'm checking here, and I'm pinning it down as well. Okay, I don't want it to shift, so go ahead and pin it down. Okay, after placing the center front, I'll also place my side front. This is the curve part. I'll place before my dart line. You can see what I'm doing here. You place your side front, the curved part, you place it before the dart. Okay, then also hold it at the armhole like so. Then place the other side front, place before the dart. we have different ways of cutting any styles, do you get? So you should place this very one before the dart line, hold with your pin, do the same thing on the armhole side of the front pattern. Now begin to trace. I'll trace the sweetheart point, I'll trace it and also trace the neckline. The reason why I placed the front pattern like so is just for me to get the asymmetric neckline of the back, so that after cutting everything will align properly. I also trace the other side of the, mark the two side of the front hem part. Can you see? You mark on the side, mark on the other side, then remove your pins. Okay. So getting to the armhole, I also traced the armhole of the front. So for the armhole side, it is optional. This is princess that we are still going to trim it out. So it's optional. I can decide to just leave it like this. After doing everything, you can trim out the armhole at once. Okay. After that, fold your pattern and from the asymmetric neckline, just extend that straight line to the hem part of the blouse. Okay. So that is where you're we adding your zipper allowance. You get. So I'm going to also connect a sweetheart neckline to this point. I'll also repeat the same thing on the other side. Okay, I'll connect my sweetheart, sorry, I'll connect my princess armhole from that point to this other side. Okay, I'll outline with my marker. So if you look at the picture we are working with, you would notice the zip area was placed on the side. Okay, I'll start the cutting from the armhole. All right, just this way. You cut from your armhole. Also cut your dart. Okay. So when I get to the hem part, I will extend from that point to the other point and I will cut out the excess. Okay, that is the hem part of the blouse. I will cut it out like so. Then after cutting, I will cut the remaining that I have on this pattern. So watch what I'm doing here. I will cut one side of the dart, then do the same thing on the other one and also cut the armhole. After cutting the armhole, I'll cut the shoulder loop and I'm going to cut the asymmetric neckline and also the shoulder loop of the other side. Then I'll cut straight. Okay. So I didn't like the fact I had that small curve on the side of the zip. So what I want to do is to cut it straight. Okay. I'm still going to cut it straight like this. So when adding my zip allowance, I'll replace it back. Okay, I'll just extend it straight. I'll extend the curve part. That curve I have there, I'll just extend straight and I'll cut it out. I'll replace the inch I took out, which is about almost half an inch. I'll replace it back when adding my zip allowance. You get. So you can see when I extended the other line, I'll be needing that line when transferring to the actual fabric. So that's why I used my pencil to extend that line, this very line here. So this point you see me marking here will serve as the zip allowance point. Okay, that is where I'll be adding extra inches for my zipper allowance. So I'll be working with this fabric. This is Ankara. I will fold into two. Then I'll start cutting my pattern. Okay. So I mistakenly folded my fabric into two here instead of single piece. I should have just spread it like that, not on a fold. But it was my mistake. I'll just remove one of the piece after cutting out. When cutting, ensure you add your half an inch stitching allowance all the way around. And when cutting this, place the right side of your pattern to the right side of your fabric. My pattern and my fabric was facing each other the right side. Okay. If you are cutting from the wrong side of your fabric, ensure you place the wrong side of your pattern as well. Okay, wrong side facing each other or right side facing each other. Then also notch your underbust and your chest line. Okay, so use your pattern to notch your chest line just this way and also notch your underbust. So the chest line is where your pattern will start and end on the underbust. Do you get? Because we are still going to pad this. Your padding will start from the chest line and stop or end at your underbust. Do you get? So after I was done with this one, I'll fold my fabric into two like so. Then I will cut the other one. Okay, this is the front side. I'll just place like so. Then I'll give half an inch stitching allowance on the hem part on the side, on the armhole, and on the other side. Okay, just give your half an inch stitching allowance all the way around, just like you see me doing here. Okay, and after cutting, you are going to notch your under bust. All right, after cutting, just notch your under bust. Okay, notch your under bust and also notch your chest line. Use your pattern to indicate your chest line, then you notch just this way. From that point to this point, that is where you will start attaching your padding, and to stop at the other bust. You get? So I will remove the pattern, and I'll place the two pattern on the right side of the fabric facing each other like so. Then I will get the curve of the other front side. So I use the other pattern to cut the two of it. Okay, so I'll just get the curve of the other side. You can see what I have here after it's done. I'll keep this aside and I'll cut the back. This is one side of the back. So I'll just place like so, and I'll cut it out, adding half an inch stitching allowance, just like I've been doing on the other patterns. Just add your half an inch stitching allowance. This is the back. Okay, I'll also note the wrong side of the fabric. So this is the two back side. These are the ones I'll be adding my zip allowance. Okay, so I want to add 1.2 inch for my zip allowance. Okay, just like this. Add your zip allowance, either 1 inch, 1.5 inch. Add your zipper allowance, whether it's 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Then also add your half an inch stitching allowance all the way around after adding your zip allowance. Once you are done with that, you cut it out. Okay, so I've cut the first one. I'm going to place my fabric and I'll cut the second one. Also notch your zip allowance and note your wrong side of the fabric. So I'll do the same thing here. I will add my 1.2 inch zip allowance. So when I get to this point, I decided to make use of the line I marked. Remember, I made a straight line using my pencil. So I'm going to just note that point where I marked my straight line. So that is where the zip will stop. Okay, that's why it's important to mark that area or that particular point. That is where the zip allowance will stop, and have also replaced the half inch I removed on the other curved side. Okay, remember I said I was going to replace it back. So what I have exactly on that point is exactly 1.5 inch. You get? So I'm going to cut it out. Okay, add your stitching allowance of half an inch, then go ahead and cut it out just like this. Remember, all my fabric and pattern was placed the right side. All right, so after I've done cutting, guys, you can see what I have here. I'll also notch the zip allowance side and also the wrong side of the fabric. So these are the two patterns. These are the zipper allowance. These are all the patterns for the back. This is the pattern for the front and back. Pattern is set and is ready to sew. So guys, this is what we have here after it's done. If this video was so helpful, kindly hit on the subscribe button. In my next tutorial, we're going to be sharing with you guys on how to join all this piece together. Thank you so much for watching.